Hello and good day. Welcome to the Good Life Meditation for today. I think it's the 29th day of June 2022. I'm Kurt. This is something I do every morning to remind myself of my life objectives and principles and to see how I did applying them to yesterday and to plan for today. First yesterday and last night. Rough night last night. Ollie wasn't feeling good. I think maybe he's got allergies. So I was up with him, comforting him. So I took him to the vet last week, and they said everything looked good, but if the problem continues, to bring him in, and they'll do some further checks. So I'll make an appointment today for said further checks. Otherwise, I think I would have slept good. I think I would have slept fine if it hadn't been for that. I'm certainly not blaming Ollie, but I'm a little tired. But I'm more genki, to use the Japanese, than I think I should be. Yes, probably because yesterday was, although a really hard day at work, it was a very productive day. I got a lot done. I'm in the middle of some real problems. Well, it's not that bad. One real challenge. Fortunately, I've got a meeting with the sponsor today, so maybe I can plot a course forward. Otherwise, I think the only thing that I did that was utilizing my principles was, what would it have been? Last night with the dog. I was really tired. He wakes me up when he's not comfortable. It's not enough. So I actually have to sit up or actually get out of bed and go sit with him and comfort him. And after I do that for a while, then he'll go to sleep again. And I was frustrated. It's like, I'm so tired. But I'm thinking, Kurt, your dog's not well. He's not feeling good. Give him some comfort. But yet I'm tired, and I had a tough day, and I got a big day. So I don't know exactly what principle I was using, but I was mustering my resolve to push past the broken slate to be there for my dog. I think I did that. I'd give myself in that effort maybe a score of a 7 out of 10 effort. If someone had been observing us in the dark, they would have thought, Kurt's only mildly put out by the need to do this. He's genuinely caring for his dog, which there was a part of me deep inside that just wanted to go back to sleep, but I think I pressed that down. I think that's a good thing. It is a good thing. It's when you're a person of responsibility has to carry that responsibility. That would be the principle then of that which must be borne. That which must be carried. When I take on the responsibility of fatherhood, or being a parent to a dog, so to speak, I take on those weights to carry. There's a Rudy. Okay, let's do the good life. My 7 objectives are to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities, and to do just one thing at a time, and to do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. Take a sip of coffee. Going back to black coffee. Yeah. That's just fine. My 30 principles are the principle of war, the principle of reason, the Homunculus, the Anchorhold, the home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, the principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, the social principle, public speaking, temperance, the horror show, that which must be borne, the Feast of Offal, distraction, agency in the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the path of wildness, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the great life adventure, season of philosophy, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, and the principle of fun. Wow, got right on through. I didn't talk about any of the sub principles, but I think I haven't made any changes to this for a while. So I think I got all 30 in a clean stretch. That lightning round isn't the way I like to do this, but it's one of the breaks that I'll give myself when I've had a rough night, and I did have a little bit of a rough night last night. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the day. Today, I think I have 4 meetings today. One with a sponsor, which is important. Another meeting that it's time to muster the troops forward. Muster. It'll all work out. Two things. I'm reading the Norton Anthology of American Literature, and the first volume, and early American writing. And I'm struck by how many of the Pilgrims were skeptics, or at least, weren't sure about their faith. Anne Bradstreet wrote a short essay to her when she was old, to her children. It's like, if you get one last thing you're going to say before you die, because she was concerned that she would die and not have a chance to speak to them all. If you're going to have one last thing to say before you die. And the thing that she chose to say was, I would say, 2/3 of it. Maybe 20%, 30% of the document, maybe a good 2 pages of writing, was about her doubt about God. I guess she was admonishing her kids to not lose their faith, but in so doing, she clearly communicated her own doubt and skepticism. Now, in the 17th century, a very different world, especially in a world like founding a new colony in a new wilderness. You don't have a lot of luxury for mental exercises like skepticism. But yet she did. And she wrote it down. She communicated her doubts, and wondering at the veracity of the claims that people make, having never observed miracles and doubting the accounts of miracles, and citing that what she reads in the Bible, how does she know that it's actually true? And why is God so hidden? And then she turns, so she says, after she tells her kids, I've got all of these doubts. All my life I've struggled, the speaking into the universe, and nobody speaks back. So yet, she says, I turn to, and she turns to the obvious things, right? The things that believers still point to today, which is, the prophecy, the evidence of the complexity of the world. What is it called? A personal incredulity. I can't possibly. How could all this be? God's got to exist. And then, of course, faith. The flimsy foundations, all three, upon which to rest one's belief. But she does. So I found that really interesting. That even in the 17th century, in the midst of wilderness, in the midst of a community dedicated to belief in God and strong convictions about these things, even there, the people doubted. A lot of people doubted. If you're reading the rest of the accounts as well. Anyway, I found that interesting. Okay, time to wrap up. Finish this. Started uploading. Go read my Bible. Fire up the computer. Get my day started. Feed the dogs. Take care. Be safe and not too safe.